Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of the 7 seals. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. A complicated system here. Trying to get used to it. A few seconds, get the proper setup. Okay. Let me bring in my audio audience. It's the Blackstone, excuse me, the Black Alert segment for the Fire Zone. Welcome. Sisters and brothers, we want to talk about Armageddon. First, lest we forget, and we will never forget, we will never let them forget, the Holocaust. They are going out of their way to minimize it, to eliminate it, to act as though it never happened. That's what they're trying to do. Get critical waste theory. They're trying to say it's a theory. They don't want their children with that divisive stuff. Who create the division? We didn't ask to come over here. If you don't like us, then why you bring us over here? We like the way we talk, we act, why bring us over here? So now you want to sweep all your history under the rug. Been whitewashing it for hundreds of years, calling it slavery. Slavery. One of the biggest lies ever told. This wasn't slavery. That was just economic aspect of it. It was horror. 24/7, 24/7, 24/7, around the clock, no let up. Not even while you were sleeping, if you even allowed to sleep. 24/7. See? 24 hours, constant, 7 days a week. No break, no Sunday, no holiday. 24/7. 365. Not any let up for over 400 years. The Holocaust, total terror. You have to apply terror to maintain that system. That system can only be maintained by terror. That means they terrorized us for over 400, terrorized the morning, noon, night, evening, summer, winter, holiday, whatever, right? Terrorized us for over 400 years, and now you're trying to say, oh man, it's a theory. Don't talk about it, forget about it, right? See, I mean, if there's slavery everywhere, right? They want to celebrate their icons, Jefferson and Washington, which was slavers, bestiality by their own definition. Beasts, raping toddlers. They were pedophiles, rapists, terrorists. They had hundreds of slaves. How did they maintain those slaves? By saying, oh, would you come and work for me today? Oh, thank you. And want to sit down and have dinner before you leave? Is that how they did it? No, they terrorized women and children. Remember, those people they call slaves, right? They was terrorized from the day they was born. You gonna tell us where other people's children? Terrorized from the day they was born. Children. They didn't let up children and spend their whole life in terror. So get up off this slavery. So, brother and sister, if you let them keep saying slave, then you must be one of them. You must be a demon. Like Farrakhan, you must be a demon. See, because they raped our women so much, relentlessly, see, unrestrained, because there was no restraints on them. Heard of Jeffrey Dahmer? And he had restraints. What would he done if he had no restraints? No restraint. And as a consequence, the scriptures tell us that half the blacks in America are demons. They're children. You look like us, Walk us, but they ain't us. They wolves in sheep clothing. And their whole purpose is to keep this system going, this diabolical system going of horror and terror. That's their whole purpose. You see them in media, entertainment, politics. They're all in master's house. The actors, they're all in master's house. They're master's children. And they live out with master. They live with you. We'll talk about that. But anyway, I want you to understand, we're going to move to this presentation, brothers and sisters. The Holocaust. See, let them try to talk about the Holocaust as a theory and see what happens. And that was nothing compared to what we went through. Okay, so we're going to move into the presentation, brothers and sisters. Let's see, bear with me. I'm still getting used to the system. Let's see. Try to get everything lined up here. Okay. Okay, welcome, brothers and sisters, again. WWIII here. Talking to you from the future. Because I'll be physically here in a few more days. Message coming full of soap. Clean this mess out. This foul thing that Farrakhan has turned it into. Oh, his people, they're sick. They didn't call me. See, they never can come back with an argument saying mathematics. Oh, you nigga. You're just a hater. You need to go back to whatever. They're sick. They're silly people. I just block them. I don't waste time with fools. You know, if you see a dog barking, a dog is barking at you, and you bark back at the dog, who's the fool there? Somebody bystander tells you the fool. The dog is doing his thing. So you bark back at dogs. You become a dog. I just put a muscle on him or shoot him. Oh. I know I got this platform now, shooting a dog, oh boy. They'll kill 100 niggas before they kill a dog. Anyway, Har-Megedon. You know, one of the greatest deceptions of all times, the Bible tells that, the scripture tells that, Satan appeared as an angel of light. See, we're the angel of light. It says Satan could appear as an angel of light. Oh, it's identity theft. He's going to appear something he's not. He's going to fool people. See, that was the greatest deception. See, it says they will come out of Europe. Read chapter 20 of Revelations, Angel, Apocalypse, right? That's talking about European history. They want to tell us the future and blind you. See, because the scriptures are foresight. They tell us hindsight to blind you. Once you realize it's foresight, those things are happening now and will be happening, then your eyes become open and they will do everything they can to shut them back up. So the terror, the terror butts, that's the demons, the black-faced devils, come and shut you down. If they can't do it, get you back online. See? They want you to understand that those things are happening now. Exodus, you read it, as happening now, your eyes will come open immediately. You see lying Farrakhan where he is. Aaron, the deceiver, the liar, the coward. But Satan, see, identity theft, see, they're over there pretending they're us. And they're about to go down. See, that great deception is about to be pulled down by Master from Muhammad. He's about to snatch that lie down and crush it. See? So Michael is angels, going to war to drag in his angels. What does that mean, Mr. Minister Farrakhan? You have no idea. That's supposed to happen. This so-called thing with Russia and Ukraine, that is not the war that's going to trigger Armageddon. It's not. See, it comes down to the category of wars and rumors of wars. So, let me check some new right quick, brothers and sisters. Let's see here. I'm going to do that. Okay. And okay, I'll do that. The war will start in the Middle East, which is about to happen today. I mean, if you've been watching the news, those who watch the news, they say, as we speak, false Israel, Satan, is right now preparing to go to war with Iran. Preparing right now. See? That's what's going to trigger Armageddon, which is probably called Armageddon. So you need to get rid of that King James Version and get a transliteral. But I'm going to show you a few things here that you would never see with the King James Version because it's interpreted. Notice, what they thought it meant, they put it in and say translated. But how do they go with Revelations when they could not know what it means? It says only the Lamb itself break those seals. So how can they translate that, put an interpretation in it, and they have no idea what it means? But they did. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. So it said, son of perdition, he will be after the works of Satan, because he will pull deception off too. He will pull a great deception off too. What's deception? Right? He would appear, right? Because he's a demon. See, Satan is the devil. But son of perdition, he's a demon. Son of hell, Farrakhan, he's a demon. And he pulled off, he says, the son of perdition would be after the works of Satan. He was sitting in Elijah's seat, pretending to be an ally or a messenger or whatever of Elijah Muhammad, apostle of Elijah Muhammad. A great concern because he's not. He's a demon. He's not teaching anything near what Elijah Muhammad taught. All you got to do is go and look at what Elijah Muhammad taught. And it's no comparison, not whatsoever. The whole purpose of Elijah Muhammad coming here, being raised, was to prepare us to go home. Prepare us to go home. That's why Master Muhammad came to remind us of the message of the covenant, because they had taken and erased that from our minds. Most of us had no idea. In fact, almost zero of us had any idea about the Abraham covenant. And most of you don't have any idea about it either, even right now. And it's in both the so-called Old Testament and New Testament, and apply, and those that you have knowledge of it, you think it applies to false Israel. That's a great deception. I taught this brother, I think he's one of those Moo brothers, or Hebrew Israelites. I think he's one of the food brothers. He's in the gym. Nobody ever said anything to him. And he's dressed the way they dress, right? Don't comb his hair and have the tees and stuff on. So I cut him to him one day, and he told me he was Moses. I said, okay, nah, I'm not arguing that he might be, right? So, I brought the Abraham covenant. So, he knew about it, but he couldn't reconcile that with us. History repeats itself. Because as I explained about 1619 to 2019, the plague that killed the firstborn, it passed over us, right? And that's exactly what happened. Because the firstborn is elderly. And it killed the elderly, but it passed over us, which is a fact. Because you'll hear them saying that we drop like flies anymore, because the World Health Organization published a paper a few months ago saying they didn't understand why it wasn't affecting Black Africa, Haiti, or other blacks, original blacks. See? They didn't say original, but add that. Because the demons are taking them out because they're devils. So they ain't talking anymore. So he just couldn't, he would, basically, absolute fact. Just couldn't say that applied to us. It had to apply to them, but it's just repeating itself. That means it's going to be exactly like it was before. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. Because they blind us. So Farrakhan said, Elijah's seat, not on the seat, and I said, all you gotta do is read the lessons. See? Elijah Muhammad, he said his purpose was to get us, right? Well, he said in many ways that he was preparing, right, for Joshua to come, the one after him, that was take us home. See? But they didn't want to talk about that. Oh, well, they don't want to talk about that. See? But he did. I was there. I'm not talking hearsay. Everything that Elijah Muhammad wrote or talked about is not a message of the black man. Fools. So I was there from 70 to 75 to be part of it. And matter of fact, sole purpose to come here is to tell us about the Abraham covenant, that he's going to enforce it. Muhammad was prepared away for the message of the covenant, would take us home. That's what it said in Malachi. It said the message of the covenant suddenly come to his temple. But they don't want to hear that. Well, but we got something for them. But I got a question for you. Now, the scripture tells us that Michael is going to deliver us. Now, unless there's true deliverance, then Michael must be master from Muhammad. And says he only going to deliver those in the Lamb's Book of Life. So, and the Lamb's Book of Lamb is the only one that can break the seal. So it has to be somebody that broke those seals. For our time, at least he hasn't went that far yet. Pretty sure he probably eased up on it. He ain't broke any seals. Muhammad never made that claim, and Master Muhammad never made that claim either. See? So, somebody has to break those seals, and the other name has to be them, because it's not up to Master Muhammad when he's out here. You better read the scripture again. It's up to the Lamb, because Master Muhammad only takes those that have the tickets that the Lamb provides. And another question. If he's delivering us, then where's he delivering us to? Because according to Farrakhan, we ain't going nowhere. So where's he delivering us to? To New York? To Las Vegas? He'll come and deliver us at a time of unprecedented trouble, which even Ryan Farrakhan finally come to understand that we're in that time now. I mean, he's laid everything. He doesn't understand the difference between reporter and prophet. He got it mixed up. I guess because, we see now, right? So where's going to deliver us to? If we aren't going anywhere. And now you got these people walking around, I mean, it's sad. They're trying to prove to you, see, those of you that still stragglers, still got your head up the Kobe's behind and NFL and all that kind of stuff, instead of paying attention to what's happening around you, like you're in the eye of a storm, it's hell raging on around you, but you're in the eye, so it's quiet there. But that storm's gonna move. And when it moves, it's gonna tear you apart. Because you lie to be deceived, but then, everything is, when hell is raging all around you. So, well, let me just move on to this stuff, because I don't want to be distracted. I'm going to stay focused on the point I'm trying to make here. But again, you need to ask yourself that question. Where is he going to, where is he delivering us to? Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's see. So here. Now, Farrakhan, he's been ripping off the nation because he's the son of addition. He's Aaron, who would deceive saints and overcome them for 42 years. Now, there's a couple things right here, because if you're the saints, those claiming to follow him, then that means that you can overcome it. If you have it, then you will be for 2 years. So you got hell in front of you. But we see the time now of unprecedented trouble. So apparently, you've already been deceived. You've been there 42 years. Now, it says that there'll be somebody's cursed. Who is that cursed? It said, you have robbed this, read Malachi. You are cursed with a curse because you have robbed this entire nation. Who's been robbing the nation? Like Muhammad didn't rob it. When he left, all the money, finance, resources were left in the name of the Nation of Islam. That's what pissed him off. That's what he went to fighting. They said that. His family said that belongs to us. And Farrakhan went along with it, he thought he was going to get a piece. But Farrakhan, all the resources and everything's in his name. So when you give him money and stuff, you're not giving it to the Nation of Islam, you give it to Farrakhan. So according to, if you go and Google it, the Nation of Islam has nothing, no resources whatsoever. All coming from Farrakhan. Why is that? Yet, he's asked for money for economic programs and things, but the Nation of Islam was going in his pocket. So he's living high on a hog. He's not producing a damn thing. He hasn't produced anything in 42 years. But he's taking all the money. So now he's starting to acknowledge that Armageddon is right around the corner. He thinks this thing in Prince, when he said the so-called swine song, not swine song, because 5 hours of total total 5 hours of nothing but a shit bouquet. Shit buffet. Right? Because he said anything, just talking. Shit buffet. But he says, this war in Ukraine is going to be one of the Armageddon, and it's going to spread. So if he's saying that, and he knows we're in that time now, then please, Mr. Farrakhan, explain to us why you haven't prepared the people for it. Why haven't you prepared the people for it? Because you're telling them, well, if this lady say, pray. You're going to pray your way out of it, right? He said, I'm going to your secret chambers and hide yourself from indignation. That's what he's saying now. So let me unpack that. Go into your secret chambers to hide from indignation is the unprecedented trouble, right? And the tribulation will last about a year. So you're going to go in your house and hide yourself and pray. You say that part, but you've been saying praying, so you put together, right? Connect the dots. So you go in your secret chamber, in your apartment, somewhere, your little house you got somewhere, paying a mortgage on, and you're going to take and say, I'm going to lock my door and hide for the indignation. Okay. So all hell's breaking loose, people starving, war fighting, it's total insurrection and else. But you safe in your little apartment. That's what I'm telling you. You safe. See? And all you got to do is pray. So I guess you were going a 100-day, 365-day fast. Because you sure hell ain't going to eat anything up in here. Because people going to be starving. And if you in Miami, and you cook some Miami, they can smell it all the way to Brooklyn, New York. If they eat about 30 days. So you're going to sit up there and eat, and in your secret chamber, everybody's starving, and you're going to be okay, because your prayer is going to save you. That's what Farrakhan's telling you. And then you got some people who say, well, we got all these farms and stuff. So let me put that one together. There's no food because you got war, you got insurrection, so stores are broken, because they're telling you you're going to have food shortages. I mean, you can have famine in a minute, but you ain't got no food in a minute. I mean, I'm not saying next year, I'm saying this year. You're going to be starving this year in a few more months. But now he got these farms, so a little rinky-dink farm way up in Michigan somewhere, right? So let me get this right. Let's see if I understand this. Now here you are in Georgia, say, right? And he's going to provide food for you. So his truck is going to leave that farm travel all through Michigan and what's all the states between here and Georgia? With just food. Everybody's starving. Country's insurrection, war, and everything else burns to the flame. But he's gonna drive all the way through there to your house, bring some food to you, boy. Everybody say, hey, look there, man, Farrakhan, look, he got a screwy, he got a food truck, and he's delivering to his people, he take care of people. Oh man, I think that's why so many white folks get heart attacks and laugh at you. They said you laugh and stop before your enemies. You'll laugh and stop. The shit that he pouring down your throat and you swallow the time. Man, that's good honey. He pouring shit down your throat and he ain't pouring down your throat. He make sure you savor it. He put it in your mouth. Chew on it for a while. Come on. Before you swallow it. Because it's honey came out of my ass. I'm an anointed one. So it's gotta be honey. I'm anointed. See? It doesn't matter it's following the devil. You gotta take my word, just Google it. It's right there. It's following there. It's personal clock. That makes him a demon. You are what your father is. That's biological fact. One drop of blood makes you. They be cracked up. They been heart attacks just laughing at your dumb ass. Ain't no way you put an orange seed in the ground and gonna come up. The sperm is alive. The egg is not. The egg is living mature. That sperm usually pay yourself outside the womb. The sperm is alive. That's come your father. That's what you are. And you may look like your mother, whatever, but your nature is going to be from the sperm because that sperm is alive. Not going to change. Oh man, these guys, one drop of blood. See, they have to set up. But if you finally come to the realization that he is a demon, they say, well, yeah, but he got one drop. And they'll takes a nose all of that. Okay. That's why he cracked up into the ass. See? I know you don't like me because, oh man, look at him. He don't like my. Hey, I'm gonna let you know something. See? You think this is a joke? You're gonna find out it ain't. Because there's no forgiveness for you, none whatsoever. You better check it out again. Come back with vision. Say, who will be able to stand? Read the sixth seal. Who will be able to stand? Because it says, I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Because your ass going to be crushed. In a minute. Because you got the blood of our people in your hands. Your bullshit. I'm not talking about you demons. I'm talking about you folks out there, right? That got your hair so far kind of ass. Right? I mean, how is the view? How is the view? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. So look at this scripture. Thus, therefore, says the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Yeah, you're going to be hungry. Only a few more days. How can Pharaoh come to prepare you? I mean, he's telling the time. What's he doing for the last 40 days? Elijah Muhammad had prepared you. If you had kept on long from Elijah Muhammad's path, you'd been totally prepared by now. You've been totally prepared. But you listen to Elijah Farrakhan, what you got? Pray. Get in your secret chambers. Okay? Have at it. See how that works out. See? Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty, because my servant shall rejoice. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be put to shame. See? Those who resisted this message and listen to Elijah Farrakhan was clear who he is. Elijah Muhammad said he'd be his worst hypocrite. He didn't tell you that. Farrakhan tells you that Elijah Muhammad said he's worst hypocrite and you still don't. You know why? Because most of you demons anyway. You got no choice. I understand. I mean, I don't blame you. If I was a demon, I'd be hanging with him too. It's self-preservation, right? But we don't want you. Let me tell you a little secret. Master don't want you either, because you're going to go with Master in a minute. Because after we get rid of you, kick you out. See? Better read Mark again. Once we kick you out from amongst us, weed you out. Remember, separated the chaff from the wheat, the goat from the sheep. Once we weed you out, right? Read Mark. Then what you did, you said, don't teach and make me leave the country. You want to stay here? So you cast them amongst the swine daddies. Y'all went to war together and rushed the clip together. See? I talk about that. I talk about different ways. I talk about it. See? And that story's sad for me, but you don't understand Okay, so we got to explain a couple things here, brothers and sisters. See, come leading up to something here. See, the whole subject about Har-Megedon. Now see, it says, and I saw another wild beast, see, they call beasts, stepping up out of the earth. Those represent European countries, right? It was having horns too like to lamb, and was speaking as a dragon. What does that mean? What does that mean? He had two horns like a lamb and speaking as a dragon. Now I'm going to try to explain a couple things here. That's why you need a transliteral version. A transliteral. I'm going to explain this in more detail. Because if you got to interpret it like King James, you'll never get this. Because when you get it, it's impossible to get it. So what do you mean speak like a dragon and two horns like a lamb? I'm showing you a picture here. Right? I'm going to explain it. See? There's earth. Right? Now, when you see the one in the center, Satan there, when you're under him, it depends on whether you look at it as a face or as a person riding. And if you look at a rider, then the one under him, that green one on him, that's a horse. That's a greenish yellow horse, which they say is pale in the Queen James Version. No, in translation it says greenish yellow. It's the reason why, because it's hyphenated. Very important, it's hyphenated, right? So, in one case, is a voice, if you look at this like a face, because Satan, his voice will be, right, his mouth, if you look at his face, but if he's riding, then it's his horse. So sometimes it's a face, and sometimes it's a voice, and sometimes it's a horse. Okay? That's the engine. I mean, I'm trying to, one learning engine, we have brothers and sisters that can bring it up to speed. That's your mind, that's your software, brothers and sisters. If you want to get into the future, you gotta adopt that software. Because your mind has to this level to get to the hereafter. Anything less than that, we don't want. Okay, see here on the left? That's called the angel key. That's the angel key. I'm not going to break it down like that. Meditate, explain how you come up with that. Right? That's the angel key. You need that to unlock the scriptures. Okay. So, when you see right there on the bottom, okay, that represents the eagle. One on top represents the face of a man. One on top of that represents young bull. And one on top of that represents the lion. Remember those creatures. So each one has 6 wings. What you see there. Now I got a special thing going there above where it says, you see the house of Saul, Prince, whatever his name is. That would be where the cow would be, right? And above him we go, because in each nation, and this is really just a little sideway here, each nation, the top 2 wings are the Islamic part of that nation. So when you understand that, then you understand what the golden calf is, because remember, Mr. Prince Bendar, whatever his name is, right? He would be the calf. He would be the calf. So the golden calf would be Sunniism. Tell me what it is of name. See, you have to understand it to know that. Anyway, that's the good side step here. But under him, he's the one in the middle. Under him, we can be a horse or a voice. So in this case, it says horse, fiery red. But remember, that's also his voice. If you look at it as a face. It's hyphenated. It's hyphenated. Now go down to Satan. See? His horse is greenish yellow. See? If you get the King James, it's pale, you won't get this. It's hyphenated. See? So when they say he's speaking hyphenated voice. So it's the dragon. Because I know you don't understand this, but it's not he represents the dragon. See, I'm not going to, because we spend hours trying to explain each detail here, and presentations explain this very clearly. He represents the dragon. So the voice of the dragon is hyphenated, and the voice of Satan is hyphenated. So that's what it means. It means he spoke like a dragon, because he's hyphenated. but he had two horns like a lamb. Now, up top there on the right-hand side, that is the New Jerusalem, right? After the resurrection, if we move the demons out of the way, that's the configuration of New Jerusalem. And so the lamb represents the sun, and the other ones represent seven horns. And the Shia, those two white ones, right? They are two horns of the lamb. So therefore, before that happens, if you go back down there, bottom down here again, on the left-hand side, right? Satan has two horns of the lamb, but he spoke as a dragon. That's that beast you're talking about. That's Satan. See? So, hope you understand that. And two horns like a, see, I show it here on the bottom right. See, I show the dragon and him, one on top of the other. So the dragon had fiery red voice, but a hyphenated voice, and so does Satan. The only two have it. So that means he spoke like a dragon, but he had two horns like the lamb, right? The lamb has two of the horns of the lamb, but he spoke as a dragon. That's what it's talking about. Now, why do you need to know this? Why is that important? Okay, we're going to see. Remember, it's hyphenated. If you get the King James Version, you never seen that. Oops. Okay. And see here? See here, top left? That's what it says, okay. They are the four spirits of demons. The demons are, the nation of Islam was corrupted. So half the nation of Islam is demons. That's the four demons. Okay? Ar is the chief demon. He's Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. He wants to quibble about the G part. Because his name is Louis Eugene. He says, no, it's Louis Eugene Walcott. See, it said Aaron would turn these people backwards. Turn back to Egypt. So that's what you got. You got Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. That's Legion. Said, what's your name? My name is Legion, and we are many. That means he's not no spirit. See? So he must say, no, my name, I'm not going to argue with you because you can prove it as Grounds. But even so, right, you can't make it up. L-E, N-O-I backwards, so you want to quibble, oh, no, it should be, because it's a long story behind that. Anyway, that's what it is. So these are for the spirits of demons going signs on how the kings are being had a hold to lead together the war, the great war of the day, the great, the almighty. And the reason why this language is quirky, because that's what happens when you transliterate. Because if you just take English and translate it to Spanish, word for word, instead of trying to spell it with me, you'll get a certain quirkiness because each language has a different structure and stuff. So if you just change word for word, that's going to seem a little quirky. But if you want to get transliteral, the best one you get for free online is the Jehovah's Witness. Go to Jehovah's Witness site, I think it's jw.org. They have a free one there. It's transliteral. That's what I use. It's the best one out there. Don't cost you anything. Right? It's transliteral. So there's one issue they have that Jehovah stuff. But they put Jehovah there, they play. But other than that, it's transliteral, and I have no qualms with it. I've been studying for over 30 years. In fact, if it wasn't for that book, I wouldn't have got anywhere with this angel, because you couldn't see this stuff with King James Version. They tell you in the last chapter, do not change any word, not one. King James Version changed everything. See? Let me say something. Well, I kind of forgot earlier, right? And I'll make a note here. Okay, I'm gonna remember this. It says in Malachi, you have robbed this entire nation. Who robbed this nation? It ain't Elijah Muhammad. Farrakhan did. He's been ripping this nation off. Boy, he hasn't produced anything. He's taking money and claiming for the economic program. Where's the economics? He's got rich. Nation don't have no assets, anything. But he said he'd be cursed with a curse. He has been. He's been disavowed. That's the worst curse you can put on a man alive. Any man would tell you that. That's the worst case, worst thing you could do to a man, disembowel him. As I'm talking about a real man. See? No, that has been put on any messenger, any prophet ever. They said persecution, worse than sword. I mean, they've been killed, but not disemboweled. I'd rather be dead, killed, than disemboweled. Do you know what disemboweled means? He was cursed. It says he'll be cursed with a curse. So this person that's between after Elijah and the message of covenant will be cursed. Because he said there's robbing his entire nation. It's right there, brothers and sisters. You read Malachi, it says the message of covenant will suddenly come to Elijah's temple. So it couldn't be Elijah, and it couldn't be Master Muhammad, because it says he had prepared a way for him. Master Muhammad prepared a way for Elijah. Elijah's not prepared a way for Master Muhammad. It's right there. But see, this is clear stuff. But you don't want to hear it, so you keep your head stuck up his ass and mind the view. See? Because you're like an ostrich, the lion's closing on his ass, he sticks his head in the sand. Right? So I guess he can't see, you understand? But he's about to be turned into lion shit. Oh, he's using that word again. This is their language, not mine. And why they got those words in this language anyway? They're such good, holy people. You don't have those such words in Arabic. It's just stuck it in there. So, you want me to use their language? Then return my language back to me and put it back to where I came from, and I'll leave your language alone, leave you alone, and I'm back to where I am, right? That's my reparations. That's some sick, stupid state somewhere. So, it says, in the great day of Almighty, look, I'm coming as a thief, happy to staying awake, keeping out of garments for him. Now see, this is a little diversion here. And I talk about this every now and then. So since we diverse here, I'm not going to show it in there because, I don't have it set for that. But all the nations that was under European control broke their control except us. The Africans, they broke their colonization control, right? Back, in the 60s, right? The Arabs, they broke British domination control, right? After World War II, right? China broke Russia's domination because Russia was, China was under the Soviet Union's ideological control, and they broke that. So they're communists, but they broke away from, because Soviet Union no longer exists. So everybody broke away from the control of their, except us. We're still here. That's what it means. So maybe I should have a presentation to explain that in more detail. I said, bless those keeping it out of garments. In other words, we still covered. In other words, they broke, they took their cover off of them. They was covered, right? But we still covered. So whatever happens to us, because we told to obey their laws. Elijah Muhammad said that, obey them. So we're doing it. So we can't be held guilty, but what they do, what we do under their control, as long as we under their control. That's what it says. So with our country, you're guilty, you're liars, you're thieves, you're wicked, right? You're sinful. It's talking about himself, his own people, because not us. You're not guilty of anything, brothers and sisters. It says we'll make if though your sins were black as coal, black as night, we'll turn as white as snow. They ain't talking about believing, bro. Ain't talking about believing in Christianity. They're talking about believing in the Son of Man. Because if you listen to him, he'll take you out and he'll take you back home. He ain't gonna ask you about your sins. Because you have no sins. They threw you in a cesspool. So now you covered with shit. All you did is the bath. You didn't throw yourself in there, they did it. So we can't hold you guilty for being stinking when somebody threw you in there, right? But we got soap and water to wash off. We good. Because you're good people. It says you're righteous people. Elijah Muhammad, I was there. I was a foreman at Muhammad Street newspaper while he was there. And it says right there, you're righteous people. He said it. Elijah Muhammad said it. But Pharaoh said, no, you're wicked. You're evil. You're sinful. He's the wicked, evil. He's talking of himself. So it says, blessed, happy Are you staying awake? You got to wake up and keep your garments so they won't see your nakedness. Because they see the naked for all the nation. Because all the nations can say they could blame it on America before. They could blame it on Europe before. They could blame it on Russia before. But now they're outside, they're on their own. Then their nakedness is shown because what they're doing, they have to blame themselves. They say, oh, that's you. That ain't them, that's you. But us, see, they try to blame us, but they can't. You're niggers. Who made us niggers? Yeah, look at the manufacturer, not the product. See, so you held guiltless. See, and I'm not going to judge you. I'm not talking about these ones that heard the truth and actually used the truth, the Bible and those fake FOI and wannabes and Bibles and time and stuff. No, we got something for you. I'm telling you, brothers, this that they blocking the light from. It's out there running around because these lies are blocking the light. But we're going to short circuit your programming because you've been programmed as Negro, but it took 64 years to do it. So 1619, you came rolling off the production line, the Negro, but it took 64 years to transform you from Kunta Kinte into Toby. See? Programmed to self-destruct, obey master, ask any questions, do have master tell you to do, so forth, so on. And so you've been programmed that way. And so we know that. And so Master Muhammad, and then you're told that you're an animal and everything else. When you're the true state man, that's taken away from you. But it's about to be returned to you. Because Master Muhammad is going to prove that that false is over there is a lie. It says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, who is the capital? Jerusalem is the capital of who? Who controls Jerusalem? False Israel. It says, when you see them surrounded by armies, their destruction, not their redemption, not their salvation, right? Not their chastisement, their destruction. That means they're not, the verse tells you right there, they couldn't possibly see Abraham because that couldn't happen. That's about to happen. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So that's it. Happy is staying away, keeping out of garments of him, in order that naked may be walking about and may be looking at the shame of him. Whereas the shame of us, I'm not talking about these demons that's terrorizing us. They're master's children. They're not us. So people doing stuff, Charlo and gang bang and all that kind of stuff. That's not us. That's their people. That's the wolves and sheep clothing. It's a hand for blacks in America to be demons. That's them doing that stuff. That ain't you. That's not your nature. See? That's them doing it. See? You're not doing it. See? You have a righteous nature. Okay? So all the stuff that you doing in ignorance, because it says you have lack of knowledge, because it was taken away from you. We ain't blame you for that. See? So everything is on them. As long as you hear, obeying their laws that you was told to do, how can you be punished for doing what you was told to do, for submitting to Adam? See? So it's on them. See? Shame is on them, not us, because they made us. We don't like this came over here. So how you gonna blame us? If you was good people, if you was angels, you'd have made an angel, so it would have been your glory. See, boy, man, look how good they are. Look what we did to her. But you boy, look what you did to her. We messed up. Now you call us niggas, dummies, fools, don't want to word, all that kind of stuff. That's your creation. That's what that means, brothers. So all that I tell you, sinful, you're wicked, no, that's them. We're about to move them out, about to get rid of them. And here, this is the part. And it led them together in a place that being called in Hebrew, Har-Megedon. See, you wouldn't get this with King James because it means it's one of those hyphenated, one of those hyphenated. It's either the voice of the dragon or the voice of Satan. It's the voice of Satan because Har-Megedon is I told you, it's tribulation. Har-Megedon is the European war. Har-Megedon is a European war. They're going to surge against each other, as Kwan said. They're going to surge against each other. Har-Megedon is not the apocalypse. Har-Megedon is the whole thing. Tribulation is the whole thing. But Har-Megedon That's the proper name, not Armageddon. That's the translation. Armageddon. Read the translator, that's where it is there. I'm not adding to it. So that's where it's going to be. Because if you see the bottom down here, this is when America and Britain, see right now, that the war would take place, and the horns, which is Shia, which is Iran and Syria, they're about to kick America and Britain and all out of it, because Satan rose into heaven. That means they rose to the Middle East. In 1990, they took control of the Middle East, basically. It means they sent to heaven, right? So now they're not Master Muhammad and his angels. They're about to kick it back out. That's it. Because, I mean, it says there was war in heaven. So what's Satan doing in heaven? And then Mike had to kick him out. That's what he's talking about. They're sent to heaven in 1990, and now Master Muhammad is about to kick the dragon out. So you see them, they kick out. They're back in the top. Because when you read, maybe I show that. Let me see. Maybe I show that. Maybe I should back out here. No, I don't show it. Maybe I want to move further back. No, I don't show it. Anyway. When it says that JCOP said that he put on the foot of the nation, there's on the bottom. See? So now they go to war and they get on top. Because if you read chapter 19, that's mid-heaven. Mid-heaven means between the heaven and earth. Because all the others on the top, they're heavens. Right? And that's for mid-heaven. And below that is the earth. Because the earth had 4 parts. That's really 1/4 of the earth. I don't want to get too much complicated here, brothers and sisters. Anyway, that's what's happening there. So they kick America. They go to war. They kick Gog and Magog. That's the dragon's angels. Kick them out, right? And so Babylon falls. So in chapter, if you read the 4th seal, that's the 4th of the earth, and now it's in battle with the wild beasts of earth. That means Europe and Russia, but Eastern Europe, West Europe, but they think West Europe's going to be allied with them. No, West Europe's going to turn against them. I got a whole presentation to explain why. They're going to turn. America's going to be at war in Europe, and they're going to have all their friends going to abandon them. Everybody's going to be attacking them. See, that's what said. The gathering place called Armageddon. Har-Megedon. They're talking about the war in Europe. See, that's Har-Megedon. Armageddon. Armageddon is really not the. That's the bad translation. Har-Megedon. That's where gathering together there. That's where that great war is. See? Okay? That war is triggered by the war that's about to take place in the Middle East. Because that was by the war that's about to take place in the Middle East. Right? Because they tell you right now, false Israel, Antichrist, Satan is actually right now preparing to bomb Iran. But it's not going to happen like they think. It's going to be preempted. Because before they can get in position to do what they think they're going to do, it says, read it carefully. You got to read things carefully, brothers and sisters. Right? It says, a war broke out in heaven. Michael's angels fought against the dragon's angels, and the dragon angels fought back. That means before they get a chance to do what they was planning on doing, Master Muhammad intervenes. Because it says they fought back. There's also, you see that in the 6th seal, because it says false Israel is also called the fig tree. Right? And it said American Britain are figs. So the figs was cast before it was red, but it was ripe. This is about to happen any day now. Based on my calculation, it's between June, we're in June now, and July this year, 2022. So I will delete my archives, brothers and sisters. I think it'll be sooner than later. Okay. So let's move on to the next one here. Okay. So we talked about this, right? Oh, my servant shall eat but you shall go hungry. Behold, myself shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. One person shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. That's much in Exodus, the manna from heaven. It says, those with the lamb, we're not going to go hungry. Master Muhammad's already taken care of that. They're talking manna from heaven. So we're not worried. See, we're going to eat, but you're not. The devils ain't going to eat, the demons ain't going to eat. And another thing, brothers and sisters, it's telling you this famine's coming. They ain't telling you it's going to be food shortages. Now you think, do you really think that when that happens, and that person happening right now, and they're going to look out for you, there's not enough food, they're going to give it to you? Do you really think that? Do you really think that? When they short food, the little food they have, they're going to give it to you? When there's not enough to go around, they're going to give it to you? Is that what you think? You got a rude awakening. Do you really think that? You're going to listen to Farrakhan. But we're going to save as many as we can. But many going to be lost for lack of knowledge. Okay, we get to come to close here, brothers and sisters. But behold, I create new heavens and new earth. And the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. Behold, I create Jerusalem and rejoicing. See, that's false Jerusalem over right now, but he's creating Jerusalem. This is Master Muhammad talking. Master Muhammad. That's false Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is the city of peace. That city of peace over there right now, that shade is false. That's what Jerusalem means, the city of peace. Salam, peace. I create Jerusalem and rejoicing, her people enjoy. That means it's not now, it got created. Right? And I will rejoice in Jerusalem. See, because Jerusalem is the throne of Master Muhammad. Mecca is the throne of Suleiman, the high priest. See? Because Master Muhammad is a king, but he's a God, but he's a God king. Called Lord of Lords and King of Kings, but also called Master Muhammad in chapter 19. He's the one that's riding right away in chapter 19. Not the same one that's riding in chapter 2, right? But one's called the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, and one's called the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You think it's the same thing? No, it's two different. So his throne is in Jerusalem. And Suleiman's throne would be in Mecca. That's what we're returning to. He's returning us back home to Mecca. It's between Arabia. It's between Euphrates and the River Nile. That means that's Arabia. That's why the Sunnis don't want you to know about it. That's not thrown together. See? But now you got these fools out here, they're desperate. They're trying to convince you that America is Egypt or the Promised Land and the Mississippi River stuff is the Euphrates. Okay, if that's the case, then why is Master Muhammad to deliver us? If we're going to stay there, deliver us from what? According to Farrakhan, he got delivered from our sinful ways, I guess. Today, at that time of unprecedented trouble, then Michael should arise and deliver all those in the book. Not his book, it's Lamb's book. You better you got twisted, brothers and sisters. See? But we're going to stay here according to Farrakhan. So why are we delivering him? Deliver what? Okay. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people. And the voice of the wicked shall be no more heard and heard, nor the voice of crying. You hear it over there now. So he's talking about something new. See, you make all things new. That's what it says in the angel. Make all things new. That's what Muhammad talking. Because he's the one in the ancient days. Remember, the ancient days had woolly hair, white woolly hair. That's not Master Muhammad, and that's surely Farrakhan. So who is it? And he's the one that raised Lazarus, because he got millions. He raised him at a time that the beast is being destroyed, America is being destroyed. So then Master Muhammad comes to him, and he gives Master Muhammad the kingdom. Master Muhammad, like the Son of Man, he gives it. Who's giving it to him? Who's giving it to man? It's a man. They don't spook the spirit. He's giving it to him. And then he has the kingdom that is built, an everlasting kingdom that's going to last forever. You don't understand any stage bonuses. And it's got somebody got wool hair. Lamb's wool hair. And it's not matched from Muhammad. He's not giving it to himself. And they ain't fire kind. So you can say it's Elijah. It's a messenger covenant. I'm just here to get your own brothers and sisters. That's all. I ain't asked you for a dime. It's a free gift. But it says that, but it's not really a free gift because you already paid for it. You went through the suffering. Now it's your reward. And they're trying to snuff it out. They're trying to trick you out of it. Trying to trick you this revelation, everything. You ain't going away, trying to steal your inheritance from you. The Arabs already did it. They stole your land, your language, your holy face, everything. They betrayed you into this situation. Restored Joseph. Now they come over here to see if they finish the job off, finish you off. See? The inheritance went to us, not to Ishmael. But they got it all. See? So now we're going to take it back. Okay, now, there should be no more thence and infinite days. That means children will die anymore. Nor an old man that has not filled his days. That means you ain't gonna die early, short. You're gonna feel you're gonna enjoy your whole life. You're gonna have a full life. Right? No more disease, that kind of stuff. Short life, no. You have fill all your days, right? And it tells you in Jeremiah that those days will be like a tree, like 1,000 years. That's what it says. So I'm not showing that here, but read it. Google it. See? For the child should die 100 years old. That means the youngest person to die will be 100 years old. He's considered a child. A child should die 100 years old. The youngest one to die will be a child, and he'd be 100, but he's considered a child at 100 years old. Because if you're 1,000 years old, 100 years, that's a child. But the sin of being 100 years old shall be accursed. Right? It says, only reason they would die at 100 years old, they're young, right? Because they were sinners. But we don't have none of them anyway. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because they didn't live a disciplined life. So they died 100 years. But at least they made 100 years. After young, earliest one died 100 years. That's because they didn't live a righteous life or disciplined life. We talked about that. Discipline, Har-Megedon, and power. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit, they shall not plant and another eat. And for the days of a tree, see here it is, as the days of a tree are the days of my people. That means trees live 1,000 years more, right? And now my elect shall long enjoy the works of their hands. That's elect. That's 140,000. That's the best of the best. They shall not labor in vain nor bring forth for trouble, but they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord. Seed of Abraham, right? And their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. See, you will be doing no prayers anymore. See, because we'll be tuning in at that time. See, that stuff, you'll be doing that, so you don't have to recite anymore, because you'll be talking righteous language and righteous words. You'll be talking bullshit and like all this God's stuff. Won't do it anymore. I'm saying when Muhammad talks, any word meant something. Nothing was frivolous. And you talk that again, because you talk like that, there's no need to recite. Unless you're here in a wicked place like he was for 3.5 years. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they yet speak, I will hear. You see, you're tuning in, you hear while you're speaking, right? The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and thus shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain, said the Lord. See, the reason why the animals are so hostile is because we eat them. Will you got out there? Once we stop doing that, hunting them down and stuff, they'll be tame and they'll be pleasant with us. That's what it's telling you. That's one of the things. That's the sealed Bible version. Unsealed, Talks a little more. I'm just getting still by version. Peace goes like rivers. Now, and the 70 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. Why is it saying that? And he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I've been telling you, I said, at the same time they take out false Israel, at the same time that Suleiman is going to take down Legion, because they're together. Satan, remember? It says, son of perdition, we after the works of Satan. So when Satan goes down, it's son of perdition going down too. That's what it's talking about. The demon are subject to us in your name. He said that I saw that Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Now, there's more to that lightning stuff, right? The angel, but I'm not going to talk about it now because you have to know who lightning is and who thunder is. But it's more information there. But it's not, all these things have more information I'm showing you. I'm showing you on a higher level. But when the war states, when Saul starts there, Satan down like that fast. Come from heaven that fast. And then you go on the siege. That war's going to be fast. But the siege is going to take a while. Because it's going to be long enough for them to start eating each other. But they're going to build a siege, no food come in, no route, anything. And it's going to be long enough for them to eat each other. So it's going to last a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. It doesn't take long for them to start going cattle because they missed one meal. You put them on one meal a day, they go insane. Right? See? But so when Satan goes down, the same thing the demons, right? Because demons ain't destroyed at that point. They're just kicked out. See? They're under Mark. They're under Suleiman's control. Because then they beg Suleiman what to do with them. He said, please don't make me your country. He's begging. Make me, so he has to get Suleiman's permission or Jesus' permission to do it. He said, well, please let me go over here. See, he's asking permission. That's why he says they're subject. He's asked for their permission. Well, can you let me go over here with swine daddies over here? Right? Please don't make me your country. That's what it's talking about, brothers and sisters. That's it. They'll be subject to at that time. See? But that's not the end of them. They're to separate from us. But then they go into war, because after they were separated, then they went their swine dad. They went to war and went to put together. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Though you said angel, they probably understand this, hopefully. But their minds are becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. And one is, you can't learn anything me just explain it to you all the time. You have to start trying to fit. The joy is when you go in and figure something, because there's a lot of material out there, and you get the whole Bible. I haven't broken it all down. The joy is like this one sister, she broke something down, it was so beautiful. I mean, I was glad because it was beautiful. I mean, I've never seen anybody do that before. In 30 years, I've been teaching this. I had no one go in there and figure anything out, not one time. She went in and broke that down and was like, it was beautiful. See? And that's because that means you're uploading. I'm just telling you, not uploading anything. You just got it. You just got this, right? But you got to upload it. That means you got to start. Because I'm giving you a lot of information so you can see this and figure this out, understand this, and then take this to go understand other stuff. This is your mind, bro. This is software. The scriptures are software. That's why you reveal it at the time that the software is needed for that particular time, those events. And disbelievers are the ones that upload that software so they get lost in time. Because with time travels, we transform energy from one form to another, the present into the future. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to the future. And the graveyard is full of people that's lost in the past. You got to create the future. We do that by transferring energy from one form to another. And the God, he's the most powerful, he's the one leading the way. He's going to make all things new with what? From the material of this world. He's got to destroy this world and take the material from this world to create his new world. And you're part of that process, or you're part of the destructive, because you're part of the constructive process, or you're part of the destructive process. Destructive process means you're part of what's destroyed, right? And that material is used for the constructive process to bring in those things new. So the believers, they're part of the constructive process. This is part of the destructive process. That's up to you. Nobody's going to miss you. And I'm not convinced anybody. I ain't asked anybody for a dime, and I've never, if anybody followed me that one time in 30 years, the people that's working with me, I didn't ask them to follow me. I ain't convinced them to. They came and said, hey, they want to help. You got it wrong, brothers and sisters. We're not trying to force you anything. We're not trying to convince you anything. If that's what you think, you're totally lost. You keep on waiting. I'm here to give you a message. And this might help you understand that. See here, I highlighted a few things. We already talked about the demon subject to us, and I saw faith fall like from heaven. But I'm going to go down this part right here. In that hour, Jesus rejoiced in the Spirit and said, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and prudent and revealed them to babes. So he wasn't about telling everything to everybody, like they preachers, these lying demon preachers telling you, because they're all demons. They're all masters, telling you love master or big master, whatever. They're trying to make their art. He comes to say the whole world. For our time, he going to say the whole world. Wouldn't say it. You've hidden these things. They don't want them to know. From the wise and the prudent. Don't want them to know. Don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want everybody. You keep listening to fire time, then you're going to go down with them. And we're not going to miss you. We're not going to move anything over you whatsoever. If you think so, you're wrong. Says, who will able to stand? Says, Jesus coming, he ain't coming to with roses. He coming to kill, destroy his enemies. Come with wrath. He said, the day of their wrath has come. There. One, two of them. Their wrath has come. Said, but when said abomination desolation after that false angel going down. It says, wrath to be upon these people. Can't you see wrath coming? America's in trouble. It's in free fall. Nothing's going right since 2020. Just one bad news after another. And that's just warming up. The 9 says 10 plagues. One already happened. Now the 9, that's the one I was telling you about. Har-Megedon. They telling you this. I mean, you got the preachers. Some of these preachers out there, what's that guy? Rick and he probably have a baby over there. He said, my man, it's gonna be really bad, man. People gonna be dying. He's scared to death. He right so, but he's gonna be one part. He thinks Jesus gonna save him. He wrong about that one. Okay, let's look at this. Jesus comes to save everybody, right? Enemies crushed. This for you out there that's resisting this message and blocked it and got our people in the shadow of your bullshit. See, because you cast in the shadow, got people walking around in the dark of your shadow. Because you standing blocking this message, creating a shadow, and our people walking around in darkness because of you. Jesus looked directly at them and asked, then what is the meaning of that which is written? The stone the builders rejected, see, you rejected the stone, became the cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone be broken to pieces, and who falls on be crushed. You're going to be crushed. I ain't talking about next year either. You're going to be crushed. And I ain't asking you to, I'm not saying this because I don't want you. You can't even come, you can't even be part of it. If you was with Farrakhan, I closed the door on you last month. If you crush. I'm telling you, the demons out there. And those who just block his message. Now, some of you that's with him, that doesn't apply to you. Because it says in Exodus that there was some in there that was really Elijah, but they come in there because they felt it was better to be in there than better out. And I agree with that, because I told my children, you're better off with Farrakhan than out here on the streets. So I agree with that. But they know they still hold on to Elijah's teaching, holding on by thread. Because Farrakhan's cut all those threads. Scientology, all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about you, that you demons and you vipers and you lies that block this message, especially ones on my block list. Oh man, you nigga and all that stuff. Okay, this because we don't want you, and you can't. You couldn't call me right now and say, "No, we don't want you. We don't want you." Close door on you. See, because how many people is already doomed because of your bullshit? Everyone that falls in that stone will be broken to pieces. Anyone who falls will be crushed. So time is running out on you because this will happen any day now. This will happen any day now. So you lost. But those who are holding on, right, by the skin of their teeth, and they were Elijah, I mean, they were Farrakhan, they hold on to Elijah's teaching, the spirit of it, right? That was the ones that he's going to take and, because they're going to take them down. But those are the ones he's going to take and clean up. That's this. He comes with full of soap and clean them up. You don't clean up, that's the Levites. They're the Levites, that's no story together. You don't clean them up. Remember what happens in Mark. He cleans them up, but they can't go. They have to stay here. You get the rest of those black folks that they should have been teaching for the last 40 years, but they got the seed on Farrakhan. See? So now they got to go in and get them. Because all our people, we're going to get as many as we can. That's what it's talking about. So let's see what, I think this way, well, you got Matt, I think this is Matthew say. And this says the same thing basically. Jesus said, have you never heard in the scriptures, the stone that Jews reject at the cornerstone? The Lord has done this, and marvelous in our eyes. This is marvelous things about to happen. Some great things you're going to see in the next year that you, like I said, you're going to never believe. It's going to be so amazing. Because now you got the God and the high priest. Okay. Therefore I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to the people who produce its fruits. See? And some about false Israel, God and Magog. Anyone who falls in the stone will be broken into pieces. Anyone whom it falls will be crushed. Hey, that's like Bible child stuff. Those of you been like fight this message and hold it back and stand away. How many people are going to be lost because of your actions? So you're going to pay for it. Okay, brothers and sisters. Let me back up here for a second. I want to say a couple things. First. You know, we're trying to turn away from Farrakhan because Farrakhan turned away from himself. Because those you demons, you're going to stick in. We don't want you. We would not have. Not one demon is going to make it to the hereafter. It says, Suleiman will make sure of that. But it's amazing. You know, they don't sell tomatoes final call anyway. That's bullshit. It's just toilet paper. But when you buy one of those papers from those clowns, you ain't getting that money Nation Islam. They have somebody print that paper for them. And most of the money is going to them, the devils. This is pathetic. All the money that comes in, that doesn't come in, go to Farrakhan, nothing goes in the name of Nation Islam. They got their so-called mosques drying all over the country. They got little study groups of 5, 10, 15 people. In the state of Florida, and I don't have a check, but they do have a mosque at all, their so-called mosque. It's in Miami, in the whole state of Florida. And they had a study group. And they have study, they had study group in Tallahassee. That's not happening there anymore. They got a small one in Tampa. Tampa, a major city. And they had a failing one in Orlando. They might not have that anymore. And that's about it. Whole state of Florida. The whole thing is, it says, the son of this man would consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. He's being consumed right now, and he's about to be destroyed in a few more days. And most of his trouble is coming from within. But it says, when destruction came, it said it'd be a sound of war. See, when they entered the camp, when Joshua, Jesus, same name, just different name, entered the camp, heard the sound of war, but not the sound of victory or defeat. That means this will happen while the war is going on. And that war in the Middle East is about to happen. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. We're going to leave it there. Hope you understand. Again, we're going to leave you with the forever remembrance. Once they're gone, we won't remember the same more. Like a dream, Never happened. As long as they're here, we're not going to let them forget, and you never forget, brother and sister. Don't forget about the slavery stuff. Holocaust, the Holocaust, the Holocaust, the Holocaust. With no theory. See, you think about it. When you see the justice coming across the horizon, the law coming across the horizon, and you know you're guilty, what you do? You want to hide the evidence. You want to hide the evidence, brothers and sisters. We the evidence. Can you connect dots on that one? You want to hide the evidence? We the evidence. Think about it. Let me close out my audio audience here. This is the thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. This is the excuse me, Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Black Alert. Out. And for my video brothers and sisters, thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum. She was in here. Oh.